y'all. So today I am going to talk about one of my absolute favorite things to do, which is camping with my horse. So I'm going to go over some of the essentials I think you should have in your trailer when you camp, some of the things that you need to take with you once you get to your destination. So obviously one of the most important things is having a trailer to be able to trailer your horse out somewhere. I have a Sundowner. I love this trailer. It's just hauls really nice, and it's got enough space for me and everything that I need. I have these portable corrals. These basically make up two pretty good sized corrals if I bring two horses with me. What I love about these portable corrals is that they are so light and they're so easy to set up even by yourself. So I can set them up by myself. I just bungee cord them on so that they don't go anywhere. You can get these little racks from the same company and have them installed on your trailer. They hold all of your deals. They just go together basically with these pins. So you can set them up however you like. And it's super easy. My horses do really, really good in them. And I just love the fact that they are super easy and I can do it myself. I don't need anybody to help me set them up. Another option, if you don't have portable corrals or you're somewhere where you can't set that up, is a highline. One thing about a highline nowadays is a lot of places, especially national forests and things, don't actually let you set up a traditional highline from back in the day. So we actually had these straps custom made. These are tree-friendly highline straps. We kind of set it up here with two different ways that you can set this up. This is a hard tie here, so you can set these up. These are called the Knot Eliminator, and we just put these easy little clips on there, and you can clip your horse's lead rope or whatever to that, tie it on. You can actually set them up this way so that you can separate your horses. Just tie those on however much distance you want, however many feet in between. And then set these up around your trees so they're tree friendly and aren't going to hurt the trees, which is important. The other way that you can tie your horses on is just like this, which is a little bit easier. Say you need to get your horse off a little quicker, you just take this right off, and it's a little bit more simple than that version if you want to go that route. So you have different options with those. But those are basically two super safe, easy ways to bring your horses camping. If you're going to stay in your trailer or a tent or whatever, it just makes it really easy for your horses and safe for them. So come with me. I'm going to kind of give you a little tour around the trailer of other things I love to bring with me when I camp. Obviously inside the trailer I like to make sure I have shavings, make sure you have your bucket for your horse manure so you can haul that out with you when you leave, a rake. Usually when I camp with my horses I like to put my tack and my saddles and some of the bigger stuff back in my rear tack. That way it frees up the space inside my trailer so I have plenty of room for all my other stuff. And being a girl I probably pack more than I should, so it just gives me a little bit more space. Obviously I always have some extra saddle blankets. I always have extra 5-gallon water jugs in here, extra trail packs, extra lead ropes and halters just in case anything breaks. But this is generally where I like to store my tack when I camp. That way it's not taking up space, valuable space, inside of my trailer. And for safety check and all the other essentials that you should have in your trailer all the time, you can refer to my other video on trailer essentials to kind of get the lowdown on all of that. But when I go camping, this is kind of right in my way, so I'll start with this. But this is a really cool grill, and it just sets up with a tiny little propane tank. I always make sure I bring quite a few of those propane tanks depending on how long I'm going to be camping. But this is awesome. It folds up like this. You can kind of pack it wherever. I can even slide it underneath my saddles in my rear tack. So it really just kind of makes a really cool deal if you don't have a campfire or you don't have that option depending on where you're going. It's just kind of a cool thing. One of the most important things I think when you're going to take your horses out camping is to obviously find a good place to camp. Find out where you're going to go, what part of the country you're going to, find out the rules and regulations of that place, find out whether they even allow horses, because a lot of places don't allow horses. find out kind of what the general area is like, if it's going to be big enough to fit your rig, if it's going to be big enough to be able to put your portable corrals up, or if you need a high line, like what you're going to need in the way of making sure your horses and you are safe. Obviously you want to have adequate amount of water, you want to have adequate amount of hay for however many horses and however many days you're going. I always err on the side of safe and bring a little bit extra. Most places that you go camping will probably have some kind of access to water if they're set up for, you know, camping and things like that. But if you're out in the middle of the woods, you want to make sure you haul in enough water that you're not going to be out there, your horse isn't going to be out there with enough water or enough food. Always bring your buckets and things in order for them to be able to drink out of. I always make sure I have plenty of trash bags and ways to haul out my trash and take that with you when you leave, so you're not leaving that out in the forest. One thing that I really love in my trailer is my bed. It's so comfortable, and I have tons of cushy blankets and pillows. I put up little curtains and things because it just really makes it comfortable when I go camping. And I have a air mattress in here that you just pump up. It's super easy to do, and you don't need an actual pump to do it. You just turn it on and flip the deal, and it pumps up to be, you know, more or less stiff depending on what you like to sleep on. Up in my area where I sleep, I always keep an extra little lantern hanging up there. I always keep another holster that it's magnetic that kind of hangs there by my head, where I can put my concealed carry or whatever small gun I usually have on me. That way, if you're in the middle of the night and need to get to it in a pinch, it's right there. I always have lanterns. I have a couple of these, extra batteries, extra flashlights. I always carry wood with me and ways to start a fire in case you are able to have a fire, depending on where you're camping at, because some places let you and some places don't. These little super fire starters are super easy. Sometimes when I'm out by myself, that's kind of the easiest way to go to get a fire started kind of in a hurry. Always, of course, carry your first aid kit, which you can also refer to my other video on trailering essentials that has all the contents of what's in my first aid kit. I always carry a few extras of these little propane tanks, which that one's kind of coming undone. I always have guns. I always have extra rounds. Always carry hats and things like that so that you have, you know, something to keep the sun off your face if you need that. I always have extra, you know, paper plates, napkins, silverware, things like that. I have tins to make coffee over the fire. I keep kind of all my silverware and things like that in little plastic bins. It just makes it really easy and organized. The airtight grain bins for my horse's grain, or sometimes I'll just make pre-made bags and carry that many pre-made bags for however many horses I'm taking for that many days. I always carry blankets, fly sheets, fly masks, extra buckets for grain, all that kind of stuff, just in case you need it, depending on where you're going. One thing that I really love in this trailer is these little space heaters. They work amazing, which is another good reason to always carry enough of these little propane tanks with you, depending on where you're going. But if it's cold, these things work wonders. The one thing that you really want to remember with these is to open a window or, you know, crack it so that you have open ventilation coming through so you're not breathing those fumes, because that's dangerous. So other than that, these work really, really good. I'm usually really hot when I sleep, so usually halfway through the night I gotta get up and turn it off because it just gets too hot, but they work really, really good. Another thing is I always have my cooler with my drinks, my waters, things like that. I always have my trail packs, my saddle bags, depending on how far I'm going. And I've always got tons of essentials in there. You can also refer to my what to carry out on the trail video, because I kind of detail all the stuff that I carry there. I've always got my snacks and my food and whatever I'm carrying that I want to be able to make for myself. I usually put in there. I've got little s'more sticks. Of course, mine's pink. But you can, you know, put your hot dogs on there or marshmallows or whatever you want to do when you're out and about. Those are kind of nice and handy to have. I always have, you know, my little cutting boards, you know, rubber kind of plastic cups. Of course, because I'm a girl and I do love my wine, I have my little plastic wine cups, my little flasks, you know, all kinds of things like that that just kind of make your trip a little bit easier. I've got bottle openers in here. I've got coffee mugs in here. I always have portable chairs in my trailer, but you obviously really want those when you're out camping so that you're not sitting on the ground or always having to sit on that tiny rail of your trailer or the back of your truck. You definitely want to have some comfortable chairs. So these kind of chairs I love. They have little drink cup holders. They recline back. They're awesome. I always have my little containers for, you know, coffee or lemonade or whatever it is that I want to have around. I always have this little portable vacuum in my trailer, which you can see I haven't used in a little while because I've just been riding a lot and it's messy in here. But when you're out camping, it's super handy to have one of these. There was a place I stayed at in Arizona and I was camping with Bling, and there were those little tiny thorns everywhere out there, and I could not keep them out of the inside of my trailer no matter how hard I tried. I kept trying to take my boots off before I'd get in the trailer and then leave them outside the trailer and put them on when I'd go to get Bling, and I mean, I just couldn't keep them out. And so at night when you're barefoot and you're trying to go to bed and get some sleep, I just kept stepping in those little thorns. So a little vacuum is super handy to have. I love these little portable tables. These things are awesome and they set up really easy, and they're really light and they fold up to where you can just obviously stack them right in there. But these are great right in between your two chairs. You can set your cocktails on there, or I always carry a little iPod docking station thing so I can have my music playing. You can put that on there. In case I bring my little dogs, I always carry this little mini playpen. That way my little dogs aren't running the gamut of wherever I'm at and I can keep track of them. My boxers usually kind of stay right with me, so they usually are just on a leash, but this is really handy if you have little dogs too, that they can stay safe in there. I always obviously carry my jacket, my chinks, things like that. Extra tack is always really good to have, extra lead ropes, things like that. In my bins for camping, I always, because I love to camp so much, which probably comes as a shock to some of you maybe, but I always keep this in my trailer, which has all of my essentials like makeup remover wipes. It's got razors. It has kind of everything, and I can hang it up while I'm getting ready. And I actually had Houseboy install a full-length mirror for me in my trailer so that I can get ready and see what's going on. So this is really handy to have a little hang-up deal where you can hang up all of your kind of goods that you need in the morning, especially if you're out in the middle of nowhere. I always keep kind of little bins with obviously Advil, Vaseline, eye drops, hairspray, foot powder, band-aids, lotion, kind of super glue, kind of all the essentials, you know. Little slippers, extra sunglasses, brushes, all that stuff is in there. I always have, you know, in these little bins, extra batteries, matches, extra rounds for my guns, flashlights, candles, playing cards for if you're out there with somebody and you want to have, you know, a game of cards. In the bottom here, I've got Lysol wipes, hand soap, I've got baby wipes, and I've got toilet paper. Those are all essentials, obviously, that you want to have with you in your trailer when you're camping. I keep a little laundry basket in here. That way I can just throw dirty laundry in there, and it's all in one spot when I get back home, and easy for me to get all the laundry done and catch back up. So those are kind of my essentials for when I camp, and I love to camp. It's so much fun. It's one of my favorite things to do with my horses. So those are kind of, you know, my basics for when I go camping.